Jason Ottley is here, my friend, one of the best health and wellness experts and founder of the Live, Inspire, Transform. Live, Inspire, Transform. Is it liveinspiretransform.com?
That's it.
Jason, for some reason, he left that off. Nick, it's liveinspiretransform.com. And so some of you have heard Jason. I do a lot of work with him. He's amazing. So, Jason, thank you for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me again.
I wanted you here because several people have asked me about something called the Keto diet.
Keto diet, yeah.
Keto?
Yeah, keto.
Keto diet craze. What is it? Is it necessary? And should people get involved with that?
A lot, like, to reference back, trends in diet is you should be very wary about it. Not to say that they're bad or all good, but, like, do your due diligence. A lot of eating habits will pick up steam and people will follow it simply because it's trending on Instagram or on Facebook, and you kind of get steered towards it and you kind of have false hope and big expectations. So I wanted to kind of clear the water and just give you what the keto is all about, essentially. So our body uses carbohydrates for fuel. That's how we're, like, naturally designed. We use carbohydrates. We know we eat protein, fats, and carbohydrates, but for exercise, anything we do, our main fuel source is carbohydrates. With the keto diet, what you're trying to do is minimize the intake of carbohydrates, increase the amount of fats by a lot, so your body will burn fat as fuel instead of carbohydrates. So you'll be more efficient at burning fat with a high-fat diet. In theory, it sounds great, and there is some, studies that support it, but not as much as people think. But it's really trying to redesign how your body is naturally functioning. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just want to let people know that there's no quick fix to any diet.
Right, that's for sure.
And this diet has worked for a lot of people, but 100% it's not going to work for everybody, So do your due diligence when you're, wanting to start a new diet, especially the keto. There's a lot of things that people don't tell you about it, like to even get to the stage where you're burning fat instead of carbohydrates, your body has to, like, transition to that period. So you could be on a keto diet for, like, 2 weeks. It doesn't necessarily mean that your body's going to automatically switch to that stage to start burning fat first.
I wouldn't take the risk of putting on fat because it's so hard to take it off.
Well, you're not necessarily putting on fat. You're just eating a high-fat diet. So foods such as, like, fatty fish, avocados, nuts, those are foods that are high in fats. Some of these are good fats, but people sometimes don't know the distinction between good fats and bad fats, so they might, like how you're referencing, like, just eat a bunch of fats and thinking that they're doing something. So the studies show that under supervision from a doctor, the keto has been successful. But the key word was under supervision from a doctor. The people out there are not going to be supervised under a doctor to get the same results that the studies have showed. So do your due diligence. There's some great things about the keto. It does help brain function. There's studies that support that. It helps people think clearly, just the science behind that. But just don't think that, I'm going to eat a bunch of good fats and I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way. There's a lot of routes to get to where you want to go, and keto is just one of them.
I found that diets never work because you're eating because you have no control over that aspect of your life.
Yeah.
You have issues in your life, so you're eating to forget about the issues. It seems as though if you, first of all, do everything in moderation and then get rid of your issues, you won't need a diet.
Yeah, I think you have to have, like, some internal, like, clue about how you're eating, what makes you eat, the social settings, before just diving into something. Okay, you're going to just break it down again. If you don't address the real issue, like, what is your goal? What do you want to do? You want to lose weight? Okay. Where do you eat? Like, what are the foods that you typically like to eat? What are the bad foods? You got to have some kind of awareness first before going into any diet.
That's right, man.
You got to just understand yourself.
That's what I like about your program. You kind of, even at the very beginning of it, you break everything down.
Yeah.
So I and others who are working with you would know exactly what they're getting into, why they're getting into, and what to expect.
It's like with anything. You need an estimate first. You need to, like, see what's going on. Like if you're building a house, you'd want to take measurements.
That's right.
You want to look at the blueprints. You're not going to just show up on the job with a hammer and the nails and some 2x4s and then start building a house. The house is not going to turn out well.
That is so true. I think what people do is that with experts, they turn their whole lives over to, with doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs.
Man, yes,
they
it's
turn
so
their
true.
whole lives over to them rather
They don't
than
think for themselves.
Right, rather
Yeah.
than getting the basic information. Then you decide what you want to do.
Yeah, and every client that I have is case by case. You
Yeah.
know, I don't refer the same eating strategies
That's
or
right.
diet strategies for everyone. I like to look at that person's lifestyle, how much they work, where can they get their meals from? Are they preparing meals from home? Are they getting meals on the go? All that makes a huge difference. Let's say someone wanted to do keto, but it was super hard for them to prepare meals because it's really restrictive, the diet. Like you can't eat any carbohydrates. You have to eat strictly fats and a little bit of protein. Some people are just not cut out mentally to be that strict in their diet.
Right,
So that
absolutely.
might not be the right form of eating for you, regardless if it works or not.
Absolutely.
So there's deeper aspects to anything you do. So you should kind of know yourself first, then see what fits into your life and your schedule.
Man, that's some of the best advice. Know yourself first, and
Yeah.
then you can
Then
pay
you can
attention
you can start
to what's
eliminating
happening.
stuff. Yeah. Then you can start eliminating which one's best for you. But just don't jump in the pool before testing the waters.
I've noticed that the more I know myself and understand, I can kind of see what's going on,
Yeah.
and that helps me to figure out what I should be doing.
That's
But people don't trust themselves. They don't get to know themselves.
they don't take the time to like analyze themselves. They just
Right.
kind of go with the flow or heard someone reference like, "Hey, this is a great diet," and it's, okay, I'll try it. But
I
like,
know.
we're all different,
I have a question here. What are Jason's opinions on steak?
Steak, red meat, good in moderation. It's fine. Shouldn't have it 4, 5, 6 times a week. There's coronary heart issues that come along with that, but in moderation, it's fine. It's a good source of protein.
I like my steak well done.
Ah, man. I
I see white people eating red meat.
You're supposed to
Inside is
eat-
all red meat.
Okay, what I've noticed is my father growing up liked it well done, and that's
Yeah.
not how you're supposed to get steaks. You have to get it medium, the medium well a little bit. You have to have a little bit of pink in there.
Why?
That's the taste. The taste comes out a lot better.
Well, it look
Don't think it's
it look
undercooked.
uncooked.
It's not uncooked though. That's what it looks, but it tastes a lot better. You gotta try it. Trust me.
But I can't eat raw meat. And once I see that red meat, it look raw.
I know it looks raw, but it's not, and it tastes so much better. You should. I'm not a big steak guy, but I definitely prefer my steak medium rare.
And then I like to put a lot of steak sauce on it.
Gosh, you might as well not
And
even
then
have a
hot
steak.
sauce.
Oh gosh.
I want you to, for those who, I have a lot of people who always tune in for the first time and not heard of you, give them your background because you really are good at what you do. You tend to know the body, you know when and where and why.
Well, yeah, I started my studies, in college and even in high school. I always been kind of just fascinated about how the body works and what stimuluses, set off reactions in the body. So I got my bachelor's in exercise science and kinesiology. Then I got a minor in health and physical education and been in the health and wellness industry for about 11, 12 years now, and just been helping people either one-on-one or in group settings or in corporate settings, just to get people to take their health a little bit more serious.
Right.
This is the only body we have, and once it breaks down, that's it. Your life changes completely, and it's sometimes irreversible to some extent.
Right.
It's better to start now in
Yeah.
some aspect and keep going than wait till your body tells you, like, no, I'm a priority now. So
Right.
once it tells you it's a priority, it's a little bit too late, not that it's over, but like your best bet is to take initiative now while you're still feeling well. And that's what I like helping people do.
I noticed that a lot of recent older people tend not to do, and when I was growing up, older people did that.
Mm-hmm.
They took care of themselves. I guess we had no other choice in Alabama. But and so
Lifestyle.
they lived to be, my grandparents
Yeah.
never saw a doctor. As far as I know, maybe they did at some point when I was little or something, and they lived to be 80 and 90 and 100.
But they were active,
They were
I would say.
active the whole time, though.
The study still shows we're meant to move, and as you decrease physical activity and you increase sedentary lifestyle, you decline in health. We're not meant to like stay, not
Right.
moving. So
That's such a good point. I never really thought of that aspect of it because I do know that they worked, and they were never all sick in some home for the old folks. And, and all that crap because they're constantly doing something.
It's not even about like working out, having to get a gym membership.
Right.
It's just like being active, especially here in California. You can walk, you can hike, you could, whatever it is, like be active because it does increase your lifespan. It has a better chance of doing that than to being, still and not mobile.
Amazing. And the last thing I want to ask you about before you leave here, you have a 10-step, is it 10-step?
With 30-day challenge.
30-day challenge. Tell the folks about that, how they can get involved.
It's just for people who are looking for that first step to being active again. Some people don't know where to start. They don't like going to the gym. So my 30-day program is really just 30 days of physical activity. And it's not strenuous every day. It's a slow build-up. Some of the activities just maybe walking in a day or stretching, but just getting you in the habit of moving. And you'll be surprised about how many aches and pains get alleviated by just moving. It happens all the time. I see it all the time. People come to me with a bag on my knee, and they make it sound so much serious than it is, because to them it is, and I respect that. But I know most of the time the cure is just get them moving again.
I know that for a fact because I hurt my right knee, and because I'm always moving about, it's healing. It's healing by itself.
Usually the chronic aches and pains are your body kind of telling you, hey, you need to add some physical activity, the right kind of physical activity, mind you, not something that's going to make it worse, but the right physical activity, the right stretching usually nips it in the bud. And doctors and taking pains and painkillers and whatever it may be, those are just a quick fix.
I know.
Band-Aid. You're not addressing the root issue.
And the pain pill doesn't really fix it. It just takes away the pain to give you an illusion that it's fixed.
And you're stuck on it and you're dependent on it.
And so how do people get involved with it?
Yeah, the 30-day program, you go to my website, liveinspiretransform.com. There's a tab that says 30-day challenge. We'll do a conference call. I like to always overview each client to get an understanding of what they're trying to do and where they're coming from. Then from there, they can start the program.
And you work with people around the world, all people.
That's my favorite thing to do, to like cast a wider net. So
I
love working with people all over the world. Literally, I have clients all over the world, and it just really, I get a reward from helping people that I can't even, physically see. So
right on. What's your website again for the folks?
liveinspiretransform.com, and it's a 30-day challenge. Follow me on Instagram, Live Inspire Transform, Facebook page as well. I like to drop, workouts, tips, and all that on there as well.
One last question someone just sent me.
Yeah.
Why do people think they should do 100 exercises in one day?
People who need more guidance. Like you're not going to sustain that. I see all these challenges like 100 push-ups, 100 just a day. That's cool for, social media and to post and get people engaged, but you're not going to sustain that. So it's more for smoke and mirrors kind of things. Not necessary.
It's more ego.
Yeah, just to get people talking and engaged on their social media. I see it all the time on 100 push-ups a day challenge.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Amazing. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks for having me. I'll be back soon. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, man.